a second here because I don't know that we're actually live yet. If you are seeing us, let us know. Just giving it a moment to warm up and connect. Okay, I think we are live. Let me just double check in the Facebook group. If you are here watching, give us a little nudge. Let us know that you are here. Okay. Okay. Okay, we're here because I was able to put a comment in. So, welcome everybody. Happy Thursday or whatever day it is if you're catching the recording. Welcome to Speaker Spotlight. Thank you so much for joining us today. As you're jumping on, please let us know where you're joining us from. As a digital nomad, you all know that I love to know where people are in the world. So please let us know. Where you are from or where you're at if you're a digital nomad or you're traveling. So for those I haven't met before, my name is Lori. I am a digital nomad, as I said, and a business and marketing success coach who helps freedom-loving coaches, consultants, and service-centered business owners to grow and scale sustainable location-independent businesses and brands that support them long-term so that they can live the life they want on their terms from anywhere in the world. Today, I am joined by Jamie, one of my favorite people, a life coach who helps women uncover their ability to make any and all decisions from an empowered, aligned place to create the results of their dreams. And using their human design as a personalized map, she teaches them to trust their body wisdom over their current circumstances and to find satisfaction with where they are while journeying towards their dreams. I am super excited about this. I just have to say it because I love human design and talking about it. And I know some of you don't necessarily know what human design is all about. So we're going to get into that. But first, Jamie, thank you so much for being here. And I would love for you to, go ahead and introduce yourself because, as you know, we are a community full of location independent entrepreneurs. And being a location independent entrepreneur yourself, I love for people to kind of just hear the backstory of you, what brought you into this space and what you're doing. And also just reminding everybody as you're jumping on, say hello, let us know where you're at, where you're joining us from, and don't be shy.
Yeah, please don't be shy. We'd love to hear who is here. Hi, I'm Jamie, and I'm so glad to be here too. You're one of my favorite people, so we have something in common already. I'm Jamie Cole, and I am, like you said, a life coach. And I help women primarily learn to trust themselves when they decide. So we make decisions all day, every day, whether we're conscious of it or not. We're constantly choosing things in our lives. And I help women learn how to trust themselves when they make those choices rather than looking around at their circumstances and sitting in confusion and polling and wondering what other people think they should do. I bring that inward so that we can actually create some results with inner authority and our wisdom. And so that was
First, though, before we dig into all of that meat and potatoes, tell us what drove you into this. Let's hear the backstory. And yay, thank you, Rosie. I'm so glad you made it on time. Glad to have you here. And everyone else, again, just let us know. Say hello.
Yeah. Okay, so I was going to skip over myself as fast as I possibly could, and you pulled me back. All right. And actually, that's one of the things I do is teach people how to create anchors in their lives. And that's the first thing that I did on my journey. So if we rewind to 20-year-old Jamie, I've always just been a bit of a person who liked to show up in the best light wherever I was. I wanted to be the one that got the approval from teachers in high school and college. I wanted to make my bosses happy. I wanted to connect and just like show up in a way that people thought of me as good. And that became a bit of a hindrance in my 20s when all of a sudden I realized I was doing everything under these really high expectations of myself. And I was really confused as to who I was and what I was doing in this life. And so that happened all when I was having children and kind of growing up and learning how to be an adult, which I think happens probably in our 20s and early 30s.
I don't know. I'm in my 40s and I don't know that
That's
I'm fully
true. I'm
ready.
not saying I'm there. I'm saying I was learning something back then. But instead of really diving in at that point, I dove into casually drinking a lot of wine and raising my kids and just doing all the things, taking action on everything for everybody. Fast forward into my late 30s, and that didn't work anymore. I was very, very overweight. I had developed definitely a drinking, maybe addiction, but certainly a dependency where nightly at wine was a big part of my relaxing or celebrating or commiserating events. I was in a beautiful relationship. I had 2 biological children and 2 stepchildren, and we were just like in this great family, but I was miserable and tired, and my body hurt. So I decided to take a 1-month challenge to stop drinking. And that was so much harder and scarier than I anticipated it to be, that it really rocked my world. I found out at that time that I was no longer confused as to whether this had become too much of my life, but that it in fact had. I was really scared of what my days would look like if I wasn't unwinding with my glasses of wine or going to a party and having the social drink or anything. Like everything I realized was revolved around alcohol. So I removed that. And what I realized was my whole life then became about no alcohol. What were the other possibilities? I didn't know. I actually didn't know how to show up. I was so confused as to how to do things in a new way, showing up in this vulnerable, honest space. And so I started asking myself, what do I want? What do I need? What do I believe? That led to a daily act of listening to myself. And I didn't know that's what I was doing back then. All I knew was that it didn't feel good to not drink, but it didn't feel good to drink. Something had to change. And people ahead of me were saying, if you continue down this road of self-reflection and asking yourself what feels good for you, life will get better. You'll feel better. And lo and behold, it did. So 6 months into that journey, I was heavier than I had ever been. I had gained 20 pounds from not drinking, and I was already 200 pounds, and I'm 5 feet tall. I was very uncomfortable in my body, and also didn't like my self as I looked. But those 6 months of not drinking had changed my mind about how I felt about myself. I was kind of liking myself. So I decided that for the first time in decades, I wouldn't try to diet to punish my body into getting smaller. Maybe I could do what I did with not drinking. Maybe I could start liking myself and just taking activities that make me feel better. So I started walking, and with no anticipation that I would even lose weight, I had kind of given up. I was in my 40s, whatever. I was in my late 30s at the time, kind of given up the idea of weight loss, but I thought I just gotta feel good. And lo and behold, there's a very long story behind this, but 18 months of a journey of walking and learning how to be intuitive about what hunger is and what my feelings were. And when I used food as though I had used alcohol for other purposes other than hunger, I lost 120 pounds and became a person that trusted on a daily basis what my feelings were telling me, whether they were good or bad. And that's when I found a person that was teaching life coaching, certifying life coaching. And I got certified and just thought, what am I going to do? Am I going to help people with drinking, weight loss? I don't know. That's a lot of pressure. That was I don't know what to do. And somewhere in that first year of becoming a coach and accidentally getting a client or 2 and finding out some results, I also anchored into human design and went, holy moly, this is that internal guidance, that trust, that gut feeling, that everything that I've been learning about myself for 2 years and didn't have a map, didn't have anything. I was doing it from the inside out, and it just unlocked everything. I started immediately using it with my current clients just as a tentative test, and results were unfolding and eyes were popping open and awarenesses were happening. And that's when we came to here to today. It's just that I really started to integrate human design into the trust process, where now the results that I help women get are not just weight loss, not just not drinking, but it's really learning how to understand that our circumstances aren't the reality of our lives, and that we have power and connection to the energy in this universe, and we can create results from anywhere. Not any result from anywhere, but many results from anywhere.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. And also, thank you, Holly, for popping on my while you can. I think this is a great one to hop in for, and Rosie, of course, and anybody else who has jumped in. Just say hi. Let us know that you're here, where you're joining from. This is a very casual conversation, and feel free to ask questions. And Jamie, I just wanted, before we kind of dive into the next part here, I want to just thank you for being so open and vulnerable about that journey, because a lot of people don't talk about, those things that are a little uncomfortable and that they've overcome. And I think it's really important. And now, drum roll, this next part, super excited to really dig into. Awesome. Yeah. So I wanted to hear as much as you can. Awesome. Awesome. And really want to dig into human design. But for those that are maybe new to the concept, can we first dial back and say, what is human design?
Yes.
What is this thing that all these people are talking about out here when they talk about human design?
Yes. So human design was developed by a guy who goes by the surname of, I'm gonna ruin it by not having it in front of me because it's a bunch of letters, but like Ra Ru Uru, something like that. He was a regular guy working in, I believe, sales and marketing, and he went on an 8-day seeker journey in the early 80s, I believe, and came back with all of this wisdom and information about the energetic system of the human body called human design. It takes information from the Kabbalah, the I Ching, and astrology, and brings it into this basically map based on where and when we were born, and tells us what our natural energetic, where the natural energetic charges of our body are held, pretty much. What that energy does is it is the energy that transmits and transmutes all the frequencies, all the information in our world, and it gives us a way to conceptualize the world around us. We each do that in an individual way, and human design is like a map that sort of affirms what it is that we already feel and goes, oh, that's our natural flow. Here's a tool that can teach us how to respond in the most natural and unique way for us. That's the long and short of it.
Yeah, I mean, I'll just say, like, for me, I have nowhere near as much knowledge as you do when it comes to human design, but even just a little bit that I've learned so far about myself and my human design, like, it's crazy. Yeah, like, and if you would have told me 5 years ago about human design, I'd been like, okay, sure, Jamie, sure, where I was born and what time and all of that, that's really going to determine who I am as a person. But holy crap, like, it is just, it's been so eye-opening for me, even like working with other people and knowing their human design. So I think it's really just an amazing tool, like you said, to really, it's like a map of ourselves, of learning ourselves, which we will share a link here too in a minute. So if you don't know your human design, so that you can go get it, right?
Yeah, it's my favorite. The link that you're going to share is just, there are so many free charts you can get. This particular link is just a really beautiful summary, and it's clear, and you can take a lot of information from it and just run with it in a quick way, is what I've found. And so that's the reason that's the link that's being shared. But you just kind of like touched on something that I feel is so important to know about this human design thing. So the way that I see us is we are navigators of life. Like, we are on a journey, period. So every goal, every desire, all of these dreams that we have that we want to like achieve, accomplish, do, those are like destinations. So if we can take out the idea of passing and failing in our results and think of them more as destinations, then we can use this map to navigate to each of those destinations to then find the next destination. It takes away the idea of, oh, I can, I can't, oh, I'm good, I'm bad, and opens up the idea that I can navigate 360 degrees right now everything's open to me until I say yes and fold that one moment down into a yes. So no matter how many no's I touch, no matter what feels good and feels bad, I still have the ability to navigate all of this. And I'm just looking at the next destination and then unfolding. And I feel like human design gives us the navigator's map to ourselves. So we can talk about it as body wisdom, as inner wisdom, as higher power, as universal source, as God. It doesn't matter. It's all the same thing. We are energetic beings that pick up frequencies and figure out how to interpret those frequencies. And we each do it individually. And when we know that, we don't have to tell other people how to do it. And we don't have to listen to other people to learn how to do it ourselves. We get to ask ourselves those questions. I love that. It gives us freedom.
Yeah. Love it. I love it. And I did share the link in there. And you really don't have to put a lot of information in to like at least get the basics. So if you're here, I don't want to distract from here, but if you don't know your human design, like while you're on with us, if you want to just if you know your data, I guess, because a lot of people don't know the time of day that they were born. I had to go to my birth certificate to find it. But go and see what you are. And if you know, share with us in the comments. Like, what is your human design?
Yep.
I'll share mine. I'm a manifesting generator, and then all of that other stuff that goes with that. But I am very true to my design.
So that's a good point, what you just said. So if you guys want to share your design type. There's like a whole bunch of different categories. Your type would be one of 5 different, it's 4 categories with one subtype. So you've got a manifester, manifesting generator, projector, and reflector. You're one of those. That information right there, if you didn't learn anything else about your design, you only learned your type and what that means for you, we could open up a whole new world. I mean, it doesn't take an absolute course expert genius in every single dot on that chart. It just takes how to know how to tap into the information that we find on the chart. And that's what I like to do. Is we could know everything, but until we embody it and learn how to practice and choose from those places, the knowledge doesn't give us a whole lot to go with.
Yeah, absolutely. And Holly just said you had to go to the dog groomer. So bye, Holly.
Bye. Well, when you come back, there will be plenty of information here. I can't wait to hear what your chart is, Holly.
Yeah, exactly. So anyone else, I can see that there's people on. So let us know if you know your design. If not, that's okay. So how do they really, now once people learn what their human design is, what do they do?
Yeah.
Like what's the next step? Because it is a lot. It's a lot of information.
Yeah. I'm going to give you what kind of like the things that I feel are really important. There are many human design experts, right? And there's people that focus in different ways. So there's how to use human design in business, how to, all sorts of amazing ways that you can use this tool to garner information. But I use it as how to live, how to be Jamie. And so I'll give you some of my pieces that I feel like are the most helpful. So first we find out our type. Every type has a strategy, and I'll just go gosh, I don't have any notes in front of me and I only work with certain ones, but we're going to go through them sort of slightly. So the manifestors have a strategy to inform. So they are the type of people that decide something and then they need to let the environment around them know what's going on with them. They are people that really, when they are interested in something, it's important that they seek out that interest and try it out, test it out, see if that's the next step for them. That's how they know to move forward. So a way that a manifestor may feel like they're not living in flow is they may feel really angry and stumped and stunted, like they can't get things done that they want to get done. One way to get out of that is to start practicing how to inform in safe areas in their lives, telling people what they want, what they need, what they're doing. That is a really strong power for a manifestor. Whereas manifesting generators they have a strategy to respond. So when I'm a generator, when we're kind of triggered, we react, and that's a survival mode. So we can get set off real quick, whether it be angry, sad, happy, it's fast. But when we take a pause, take a moment and allow our inner authority to kind of connect in and let our brains take a break, let our body connect in and tell us what the next step is, we respond to the situation and the It's like the channels open up. That's what, so we respond to what we're inspired by. We allow the environment to bring us situations and circumstances, and we go, that one, let me respond to that one. That's how we would use our power. Projectors and reflectors are completely different ball games and beautiful energies. I just don't have as much familiarity with working with them. But projectors are like the guides of our universe. They are people who would do best when they're recognized for their ability to guide or teach. They are our teachers often. Not that any of the other types couldn't be teachers, but these are our. They do great when they are recognized and invited to share their information. And when they're not recognized for the talents they have, they can feel very frustrated. Very like it's just like a really like a stopping and keeping quiet, always wanting to keep quiet feeling. And then finally, we have the reflectors, who are a very, very small piece of the universal pie of population. And they are really actually following a lunar cycle. They've got so much open energy that they pull in from other people and experiences. They don't have a whole lot of defined energy in their bodies. So they really do take a little bit of everything in, and then they've got to wait some time to make decisions. So there are slower movers. So if you're a reflector and you're trying to push and you are pushing, time to rest. That's just, it's really energy that could slow down a little bit and do well with following the cycles of the moon, really the astrology moon. There's a lot of words, but that's that one piece of your chart. Figuring out that strategy, understanding what the difference is between reacting and responding, or why I feel angry when I'm not informing. Learning these types of things and making those small adjustments really can change relationships, job situations, satisfaction. Yeah.
And ultimately, going back to the title here, how to use that design to help develop the self-trust you need to achieve your goals and your dreams, yes. Right? I did want to note too, Rosie, said I was born abroad, might not be available. And I know actually one other person in we did a human design in like our group of experts in the Strategy and Support Society, and one of our members, like, we couldn't find the place that she was actually born in there, so she couldn't get an accurate read on her chart. So any thoughts on that? So if they're not able to find the information that they need to actually pull the chart.
Okay, so a couple thoughts. There may be answers that I don't know for sure about that, but here are the couple of things I do know. There are some times where the time matters a lot. And there are some where it doesn't matter quite as much. It's just depending on when the transits are happening. So if it's a time situation and you were born in the evening of this day at this place, I would highly recommend doing a couple hours before, a couple hours after, and seeing if your type changes, if your environment changes, if your type changes is the big one. Because if you don't know for sure, that's going to be the one big piece of information that you could get and maybe trust. I wouldn't look at anything too much more detailed. If it's a place situation, I actually am not 100% sure how much the super minute local versus like city versus country is. So I'll get back to you and I will let you know. We'll figure that out. But I haven't encountered one that didn't know the place.
Yeah, and when it was in that situation in particular, I don't know if this was Rosie's situation, but she knew the place, but when she put it in, it wasn't coming up. And I think the place is really about the time zone or something, right? But
like the region.
So she actually, depending on like the two different sites she ran it on, she got different answers. Like one said that she was a projector and the other one said she was a manifesting generator.
Wow.
So my advice was like, well, I guess just kind of figure out which one that you identify with. But I don't know if that's the right thing.
That's exactly what I was going to say. Is here's the other thing: we don't need human design, just like we don't need Myers-Briggs, and we don't need any of these. But here's what I do know, especially as women, but I know men too, grew up being taught how to be good girls. and bad girls. And we were taught that way by looking outside of ourselves and being told yes, no, good, bad, behave, don't behave. So we are wired to look outside of ourselves, even though once we become adults, we're told look within, find the answers within, trust your gut. We're told this stuff, but we weren't taught it. So human design is an external source that gives you affirmation of your internal truth. So if you get a chart that feels totally off and it's accurate birth information, then I would say, okay, we may have some like deconditioning to do, learning what feels aligned for you and like what are your beliefs, right? But if you get two charts because you don't know your information very much and one feels a lot more natural to you than the other, I'd run with it, because all we're doing is creating an affirmation of how we feel inside our bodies, how we respond to the energy, and then we're trying to react accordingly and show up in a way that feels safe, authentic, and creates actual productive results around us. It's amazing what happens to the people around us when we start to trust ourselves and act from that. It gives them like a lot of safety and trust as well. They can start to predict and understand how they can take care of themselves when we're doing that for ourselves. So it's frustrating when we can't get the perfect chart, but it's not impossible to still do this work and really uncover this internal system.
Like it really comes down to developing. Human design helps you to better trust your instincts, right? But comes down to really just learning to trust ourselves. And I know I'm a big believer in that as well, because if we don't trust ourselves, how are we going? Especially when it comes to business, how do we expect others to trust us if we don't trust ourselves, right?
Right. So when we have whether we have our human design or not, but we'll just say we do. What I like to do with my clients, and I know we've been talking, and this has been fun, and I think I could talk about this for days. But what we really work on once we know a couple little pieces, like what our strategies are, is we work on building capacity to feel feelings. So when you're learning to trust yourself, or no matter where you are on that scale, it's going to be uncomfortable, and you're going to feel feelings of disappointment and anger and frustration and joy and vulnerability and all these feelings that sometimes we like to resist and say, I just don't want to feel that. I want to feel better and turn towards this way. But if we can build the capacity to feel our feelings, those feelings are the things that tell us what our energy is doing on the inside and give us information. So again, when we have the human design chart and we feel those feelings, we can actually go, holy moly, my feelings are telling me this, and I can see I could see something here. But if we don't have the human design chart and we feel disappointment, we can ask ourselves, wow, what does a disappointment feel like in my body? Where is it? What is it telling me? We don't have to be scared of that. We don't have to try to fix it. We just got to understand it. It goes a long way.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So, and I know you have a resource too to share with people too, to kind of like navigate those feelings, right?
Yes. So this actually, that's a great segue, is this resource that I have. It's just a free resource. You can put your name in real quick. It's called the Anchoring with Feelings tool. And what it does is it asks you to think about how you want to feel when you lay down at night and write that down in the morning. Then at night, just write down how you feel, and then what worked, what didn't work, and what could you do differently. When we start to anchor into a feeling each day and make that a practice, all day long, we've got something to kind of come back to and start to mold our day in a different way. It just gives us a way to disengage from all the results, the success, the failure thoughts, and re-engage with what our bodies and our minds and our energy is telling us and helping us move throughout our day. So if you get that, it's a very quick exercise. 5 minutes in the morning, maybe 10 minutes at night at the most, probably 5 minutes, and do it for a week. I swear, your whole outlook on how to measure the day can really start to change.
Yeah, Absolutely. And I dropped the link in there too to get that guide. So, guys, Jamie is amazing at this stuff. So please grab that guide. And if people wanted to connect with you further, follow you, ask you about how to really develop that self-trust and even to figure out how they can work with you.
Yep.
I'm going to put your Facebook link up here. It's not actually, I'll drop it in the comments as well, but for those who are joining us on one of our other platforms, it is up on the screen, and you can. Oh, geez, sorry. So it's up on the screen, but I will drop it in the comments in the Facebook group too for those that are watching the Facebook group, and you can click on it from there. But I really recommend that you do reach out to Jamie. And if you've been shy or you're watching the replay and you have questions on any of this, I know that Jamie is very passionate and always willing to chat with you and just kind of explain things a little more for you.
Yeah, I would say if you connect with me, you can just friend me on Facebook. I'm public. I share a lot of my information like totally freely. It's just, I just want this information to be out there. If you have questions, I am happy to chat. Like, I really just love having the conversations about this. And if you already know, like, you want to dive into this work, we can do an hour consultation, like on the phone, and talk about what does the transformation look like for you? What are the results you're looking for? And how in the world would applying human design and inner trust get you there? And that's just, I've got if you go on the link that Lori shared with you, all of that information's there, or just connect with me on Facebook. That's the best way.
Yeah, absolutely. And like I said, I dropped your Facebook link and actually tagged you. I could have just done that. I realized after I shared that in the comments. So please do connect with Jamie. I said she's fabulous and will teach you so much, not just about human design, but about yourself and really just how to connect with yourself to achieve your dreams and your goals. And whether that's in your personal life or in your business, learning to trust yourself. Trust me when I say, like, learning to trust yourself, it's life-changing. And, it really helps you to step into that next level in life and business. So thank you so much, Jamie, for being here and explaining all of this to all of us. And also, again, for sharing your story, because I'm big on hearing the stories of what led everybody to where they are. And I think it's an important piece to really showcase when you trust yourself and you listen to yourself and that inner guidance system, how much it can change your life. And for those who might have joined late here, you're going to want to go back and watch the replay and hear Jamie's story at the beginning to know what those life-changing results were. But no, this was fantastic. And thank you again, Jamie.
Thank you.
Any final words of wisdom that you want to share with anybody?
The journey of self-trust isn't necessarily always the most easy journey, but it only takes a step and it only takes a decision in small spaces. You don't have to go for self-trust in the biggest, most public way of your life. You can do this in really tiny incremental spaces. And one of the easiest ways to do it is just asking yourself how I want to feel and how do I feel, and just creating the ability to have that little inner conversation with you. And it can go a long way.
I love it. I love it. Thank you so much. And I want to just, thank everybody for tuning in for another Speaker Spotlight. If you are joining us on a replay, let us know. Do a hashtag replay. I should have said this at the beginning too, but hashtag replay. We do look back, and if you have questions, I tag Jamie here, so she'll also get notified if you put any questions in the comments so that we can follow up with you. But thank you again for tuning in, where we spotlight different experts and remote entrepreneurs that help to support you in your mission to have a fully location-independent business and a life that you love. And if you'd like to be featured like Jamie, or if you are looking to build more confidence, more consistency, and to get more results in your remote-based businesses, please join us as a member of the Strategy and Support Society, where you get everything that you will need to build, grow, and scale your remote-based business on your terms, in your way, from anywhere in the world, no matter what level you are at, whether you are day one or whether you are 5 years in. And Jamie is actually one of our members and can probably speak to you too about what that experience looks like.
I trusted myself to try that, and that was a leap for me because I didn't always try things like that, and it has paid off exponentially. I love that group.
Awesome. And we are so happy to have you as part of it. And then, for everybody too, we are offering a special. So $1 for 30 days. So you can experience that as well. So if you want those details, let me know or drop a comment in the comments here. But go check out Jamie's stuff, sign up for that link, and share with us. I mean, reach out to Jamie, me in the comments. Let us know what you found out about your own human design, because we like that stuff. It's fun. Oh, hey, Patty! I just saw the comments there. So glad you were able to tune in for at least part of it. Thank you so much for joining us. Please connect. And if you are just joining now, you'll want to go back and watch the rest because Jamie's amazing. So. Thank you again, Jamie, and thank you everybody for tuning in. Enjoy the rest of your day, and we'll talk to you all soon.